Hello! I'm posting early this week. I normally post on a Wednesday and it's getting too tight with the meditation being on a Wednesday as well. And I've got a crazy busy week this week with QHHT sessions and practitioner interviews with people all over the world and college and so yeah, I'm doing it on a Monday night instead. So this was this week's casualty, 3D casualty. I don't know if you can see, but that is a mushroom. It's supposed to go on the top of this fairy. My toadstool there. Husband lopped the top off the mushroom when he was doing a bit of DIY. So that's another thing of mine that's completely knackered, that needs to go in the scrap heap. 3D, just crashing down everywhere you go. So it's been a funny old week this week. I want to talk to you a little bit about my week before I go into the session. It's been a really strange week, quite insightful in many ways, but also very, very strange. Where to start? So the other morning I woke up and I can't remember what I was dreaming about. I've got no recollection. But I woke up and I could hear somebody in my right ear saying turmeric in my ear. Turmeric, turmeric, turmeric. And then about 2 seconds after that, I became aware that I was also chanting turmeric. Turmeric, turmeric, turmeric. And then once I became aware of it, I stopped and I was like, why am I saying turmeric? This is weird. So I thought about it for a bit and I thought, well, obviously it's some kind of a message. I need to look into turmeric a bit more. So I don't really know much about turmeric. All I know is I have some in my cupboard and it smells quite sweet. It stains everything because the kids' clothes are always covered in yellow stains when I make soups with turmeric in. And I put it in curries a lot, but that's pretty much all I know. So I did a really quick look on the internet about what you're supposed to do with turmeric. And I found this thing where you can make turmeric water, a turmeric drink. So I didn't have time to look into it in too much detail. So I went into the kitchen, lobbed a massive big blob of turmeric in a cup, wedge a lemon, some semi-warm water, stirred it all round, drank it, thought, brilliant. Yeah, don't do that. It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, so I was like, what are they trying to tell me? This is disgusting, and I don't think I'm doing it right. So I did some more research on the internet and I found loads more stuff, and I bought some organic turmeric capsules, which I'm now taking, some turmeric tea, which I'm now drinking, and a wonderful client of mine this week told me about how you can mix turmeric with coconut oil and black pepper to make a paste, and then you ingest it that way. So I have yet to find out what this turmeric thing is all about, but I've started taking it. And, you know, when I begin to notice anything, I'll let you know. But I did read up a little bit that it's one of the many benefits of turmeric. I know there are so many, but one of the benefits is that it's good for people who've got psoriasis. And I have had psoriasis for years, and I've managed to get rid of most of it through QHHT, through finding out the reason that I had manifested psoriasis. So I've got rid of most of it, but there's just a little bit left in my ears. Of all of the places, seriously, you try and get a cream in your ears, it's a nightmare. And somebody once told me, don't put anything in your ears that's that's smaller than your elbow or something. And that always stuck with me. And I'm like, well, I can't get my elbow in my ear. So I think the bottom line of that saying is, don't put anything in your ears. So I'm hoping that this turmeric thing is going to sort my ears out, because they are very irritating, but I've just learnt to live with it now, as with so many things in this crazy world. So on my turmeric quest, I discovered lentils. And since I went veggie about 2 years ago, I used to love food. And since I went veggie, to start off with, I absolutely loved it. And because I think I went veggie in summertime, and there were so many nice fruits and salads and goat's cheese and all this sort of thing. Because I'm not vegan, I'm veggie. And then it got to winter, and I've just been a bit bored. And I've been eating nice food, but there's been something missing. And apparently that something is lentils, because I never went anywhere near lentils being an adult. When I was a child, we came from a working class family, and we did not have a lot of money. And my mum, bless her, would often pack out stews and casseroles, shall we say, that lasted quite a few days with split peas and lentils. And all I remember from being a child was you never got any meat. There was some at one time floating in there, but it had been long gone. All that was left was like just lots of potatoes, split peas and lentils. And I just remember these split peas and lentils being really hard, and thinking, oof, this is disgusting. So it kind of put me off lentils for life. But this week, I stumbled across some lentils recipes whilst I was on my quest for additional information on turmeric. And so I thought, you know what? I have got some lentils in the house. I'm going to have a go at these. And the first one I made was a lentil and mung bean dal. And it was literally out of this world. And I'm not exaggerating. And my husband still does eat meat. And he had one bowl, then he had a second bowl, then he had a third bowl. And he said, "What's in this?" And I said, "It's lentil and mung beans." And he was like, "Mung beans?" He just thinks I'm crazy, bless him. But he just puts up with so much. And I was like, "Yeah, but what do you think?" And he's like, "It's really tasty." So that gave me the green light to try some more stuff. And since then, I've done the dal. I've done a shepherd's pie with lentils, with a lentil bottom. So for those people that aren't in the UK, a shepherd's pie is normally like mince and carrots and peas and stuff in the bottom, with a mashed potato top and cheese on top. Well, instead of the mincy meat bit, I did lentils. Oh my goodness, that went down so well. The kids, my husband, my parents, everybody loved it. Then I did a lentil spaghetti bolognese. And my husband's like eating it, he's like twirling it around his fork. He's like, "These lentils again?" And I'm like, yeah, it's good, aren't they? And he's like, "Yeah, it's all right, yeah. Lentils again." Yeah, lentils. Oh God, my poor husband. Anyway, tomorrow night is lentil lasagna. So I'll let you know next week how we go on with that. I'm sure it's going to be a hit. What else do I have to tell you? So I've had some really interesting messages from clients this week. So at the end of every session that I do, I always ask the client the very last question, and with their permission, I always ask them prior to the session if they're okay with me doing this. I always ask, with their permission, if they have any message for me. And the only reason I do this is because Dolores used to do this, and it's when she used to get most of her information about interesting stuff, you know, to do with the shift and New Earth and all that kind of thing. So I do the same. But I've had some amazing messages this week. Like, if anyone in the world believes in this stuff, you know it's me. But if there was ever like a tiny small part of me that was a little bit skeptical, it's just been blown out of the water this week. So the first client I asked if they had any message for me. And they said, I'm seeing a picture of jigsaw in my head. I can see a jigsaw puzzle and I can just see all the pieces being put in. Now, that was very significant for me because this past week, me and my family have started doing jigsaws. We've never done them before, but we started doing jigsaws as a way for all of us to spend some family time and bond, because even the youngest can join in. It's something that she can do. And I was discussing it with my husband and I was like, I think we need to keep doing this jigsaw thing because it's a great way to spend time together. And then when they said that about the jigsaws, I was like, wow. But I also think on a more multi-dimensional level, when she said that you're putting the pieces together, I also think that the message there was keep plugging away. You know, you're finding the answers. You're doing a good job. Keep plugging away on your mission. So that was one. And then earlier on in the week, I'd had this bit of an epiphany, if you like, on the school run. I noticed a while ago that not many of the mums like to stand and talk to me. There's a couple of them that do, and they're really happy, they're really loving, kind, amazing people, and they will stand and talk to me. But nobody else will. And there's one lady in particular whose daughter plays with my daughter, and I go out of my way to speak to her every time I see her. And literally this week, she backed away from me, literally walked backwards away from me and looking around frantically for anybody that she knew to speak to other than me, until her eyes locked on this poor unsuspecting guy and she darted off to go and speak to him. And that particular incident just made me think, wow, they really don't want to speak to me. So I started thinking about the frequency thing and the split in consciousness and how when you hold this high frequency, lower frequency people can't come anywhere near you. And I was mulling it all over and I was thinking, it's almost like people either really love you or they absolutely hate you, Laura. There's no in between. It's almost like you're like Marmite. Now, people from the UK will know what Marmite is. It's I think it's got other names in other countries, but it's made from yeast. It's a yeast extract that you spread on your bread. It actually tastes really good. I like Marmite, but not everybody does. And that was the point of realisation that I got to in this little process where I was mulling it over in my head. I was thinking, you're literally Marmite, Laura. You're actually Marmite. And then this client that I had this week, when I said, have you got a message for me? She said, that can't be right. I said, just push out whatever it is that comes into your head. Just let it flow. And she said, I'm getting the word Marmite. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This was a conversation I was having in my own head. I wasn't even having this conversation with anybody. And that's what they came out with through my client. So that was mind-blowing. And I also got another message as well from another client, which was incredible, but it was very personal, so I can't share that one. But I've had 3 this week that have just been absolutely incredible. Something else that happened to me this week as well. I was in the car with my daughter. I just dropped my eldest one off at school, and we were driving to go and see the rabbits, because she loves to go and see the rabbits. She's absolutely obsessed with animals. And it was a nice day. The sun was shining, no clouds in the sky, loads of chemtrails, of course, but no clouds. And all of a sudden, my little girl went, Mommy, look, look at the clouds, pinks, purples, so pretty. And I'm driving the car like that, and I'm thinking, oh my God, is the event happening now? What's happening? Is it happening now? Oh my God, I'm driving. Anyway, I couldn't see anything, but she said it a few times, and she's too young to, she's at that age where they can't even make stuff up. She's just too young, but her speech is incredible for her age. And she kept on talking about these pink and purple clouds. So we're driving along. I'm just coming up to a massive big roundabout, and then she goes, "Oh, Mummy, look at that star!" And I went, "What? What star? What star, darling?" Any other mum would have been, yeah, whatever. Me, I'm like, what star? And she went, big, beautiful star in the sky. White, so white. And I'm like, oh my God, if only I could see what you see. And then once I got across the treacherous roundabout, and then I'm trying to get back on topic again, no, didn't want to talk about anything to do with the star. Completely forgot the star. Just wanted to talk about rabbits and, oh God. So yeah, I've no idea what that was, but it sounded like potentially it could have been very exciting. And then something else I wanted to mention as well was I had a bit of a 3D situation happen to me this week. Now, I never ever go out into 3D at all, apart from the school run. That's my only experience of dealing with people other than the clients that I see. I just keep myself away, and it's the only way I can maintain my frequency, is to stay away from basically everybody. Oh, yeah, so anyway, both my children needed new shoes, so I had to venture into 3D, and we decided to make a family outing of it. And me, my husband and the 2 kids, we went into town and we bought the shoes, and we were just on the way back. And as we're coming up to where we live, just a couple of roads before we turn to where we live, this guy shot out of this street on a blind bend, and we were on the main road. He was coming in from a side street, and he had to come out into the main road because there was a car parked on the opposite side. And as he came out, it looked like he was going to hit us head on. So my husband just put his hand on the horn to basically tell him that we were there. And then we carried on driving. Anyway, I looked behind us, and I said, he's following us. And I was like, oh God, this doesn't bode well. So anyway, we pulled up a side street, because when people start following you, they just want to have it out. So we pulled up this side street, parked up, and this guy speeds up to the top of the road, does like a wheelie with smoke and, speeds down the road, winds down the window. So my husband winds down his window, and I'm thinking, oh my God. So the first thing I did was I put a pyramid of white light in my head around the car, because I'm thinking I've got my kids in the car. And then the first thing I noticed, apart from this really angry guy, was that he'd got a kid in the car. Anyway, he starts shouting, like going completely mental, saying, why did we pip at him? And I'm just thinking to myself, stay calm. This is some kind of a test, because there was no way that our vibration was in any place to have attracted that. because we were in a really, really, really happy place. We'd been having an amazing day. So I'm thinking, this is some kind of a test. And then I'm looking at this guy who's really, really shouting. And at the end of the day, my husband, he's 6'4". He's a big guy. And he can fight. You know, back in the day, before we did all this kind of, you know, ascension stuff, he could hold his own. You know what I'm saying? So this guy had a lucky escape, because back in the day, my husband would have completely obliterated him all over his windscreen. But now, we're not those people. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, just stay calm, stay calm. And I'd already said to my husband, we need to stay calm because this guy's looking for a fight. And he just kept on shouting and roping. And then there was this point in time where I saw the change. I literally saw it on this guy's face. And he went from angry, and, you know, this is what he's always used to doing when he gets angry. He jumps in there and he gets in for a fight. And he stopped saying what he was saying. And he looked at both me and my husband and he was like, you both look really confused. And I was thinking, that is total projection, because me and my husband were not confused at all. This guy was so confused because he couldn't understand why we weren't shouting at him, why we weren't getting out of the car and having a fist fight in the middle of the street. And both me and my husband were just there, really calm, really positive energy, smiling at him in a nice, friendly way. There was nothing antagonistic about us. And when that moment of realization happened, he just like shook his head. It was almost like cognitive dissonance. He just couldn't understand what was happening. He shook his head and then he just sped off in his car. And my husband was like, gosh, I didn't expect that to happen. He said, normally when I've been in situations like that, that wouldn't have ended without a fight. And I said, yeah, it's because we brought a different energy to that situation. And he was totally confused and perplexed by it, because it was a situation that he himself, this guy, had never experienced before. He'd never experienced that level of consciousness. And when we got back to our house and I came into my house and I walked into my office and I had to think about what happened, I had this massive wave of love just pass down through me. And I felt like it was my guides and my higher self were really happy with me and my husband, because it's all right saying all these things, isn't it? It's all right saying be kind, be loved, don't get triggered, you know, don't do this. But we were presented with potentially a quite dangerous 3D situation in real life. And we just went into it with love. And it completely diffused the situation. And when we weren't bringing that angry energy to it, he didn't want to stay. He had to leave because he couldn't stay there, because there was no additional energy fueling his negative spiral. And then he left. And I thought that was incredible. Yeah, so needless to say, I'm not going to be going out in 3D again anytime soon. It's not happening. So I'll be chopping the ends off the shoes next time they need new shoes. The meditation last week, so thank you so much for everybody that did the meditation with me. I recorded it earlier in the week, and so when it was meditation time, I actually listened to myself and did the meditation with everybody else. So it was great because I got to switch off and do the meditation myself. And just a couple of bits that I'd like to mention, just a couple of bits. As we were going down into the earth, at one point I could see little people inside these caves in the earth. They had hats on, and as my consciousness was going down, I'm going down into the core of the earth, I saw them take the hats off. and put them over the heart. And all of them were like looking as if to say, thank you for what you're doing. They all took the hats off. So that was amazing. I also saw an image of what looked like the halls of inner earth, and 3 figures stood almost like a silhouette in the halls of inner earth as my consciousness passed that down to the core. And then something else that I noticed was when we were on New Earth, the New Earth plane, and we were exploring, my little boy who is on New Earth took me to these crystal caves that are under the earth on New Earth, and they were bright red, like ruby red crystals, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. They look like ruby, just and a whole cavern full of ruby red crystals. So they were the things that I saw in the meditation. So I thought I would just mention those. I've got a really good session for you today. Some more information on the shift. So I think you'll find that interesting. I personally found this session very interesting because this lady, what she says corroborates something that Blossom Goodchild has said in her channeling. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Blossom or you watch Blossom's videos on YouTube. If you haven't watched her videos, please do go and check her out. She's amazing. Not only is the information that she channels amazing, but her vibration is really, really high. Very humorous lady. I absolutely love her. And she's literally the only person that I can watch now. I can't watch anybody else. Anybody else, when they start with that monotone voice, brings my vibration down. Not interested. I don't even care what they're saying to me, even if it's really good information. If they're delivering it in a monotone, deadpan manner, I can't be doing with it. So Blossom is literally my lifeline. She's the only thing I can watch because she is high vibration and her information's amazing. Anyway, so I'm going to read you the session now. So this lady had seen what we would class, practitioners would class, as kind of a bog standard earth life. And she'd got right to the end of this earth life and then she'd passed over. So it's at the point where she's passed over that I'm going to read from. So she says she's seen this huge big white light. So I say, head for that white light and tell me what you experience when you get to it. Tingling. It's like white, but it's not white. It has other colours. Blue, small specks of light. You can put your hand up and it's electrical. They tingle. They burst when you touch them. The lights do. How does it feel to be there? Like I'm electric. It's like a sense of wonder. I want to touch the little beads and they explode into vibration. And that vibration goes into me when it bursts. How does that feel? It's like I'm swimming in the light. It's full of energy. Are you still aware of yourself as an individual energy, or do you now feel a part of the whole? I feel like my energy is melting into it. The colours pink, blue, white, and I'm just moving around. What happens as you move along? What feeling do you get? It's just like I'm nothing, but I'm everything. I am the light. I am the drops, those beads of light. So you hear that a lot when people have reached a very high level of consciousness. I'm everything, but I'm nothing. So at this point, I think, well, that's great, but I want to get her some more past lives because she's here to find out a lot of information. So I want to try and get her to see as much as she can in the time that we have. So then I move her to another lifetime that we need to see today. So I say, what do you see? I see a woman. I think she's a woman. She's got big lips, like a fish mouth. And then she starts laughing. What colour is her skin? She's kind of orangey. And she has big lips. Yes, they're massive. Her eyes go down. Her eyes go down and are black. And she was touching her face like this when she was saying this. She just kept touching her own face, touching her nose, touching her mouth. Does she have a nose? No, it's just holes. And she's got black eyes. Describe the rest of this woman. What does the rest of her look like? Does she have any hair? It's not hair. Describe it. It's like prawn, like wispy, whisker-like. And I say, prawns whiskers. Yes, some of them are long, some of them are short. This is the hair, the prawns whisker hair. And she's got a blue body underneath. Is she bipedal? Does she stand on 2 feet? How does her body look? No, she's got like a fish type tail. It's blue and scaly. And her top half is prawny, like a prawnfish. And then she says, she's making like funny noises. It almost sounds like static. So she doesn't speak like us. And what is this noise that she's making? She's communicating with me. What is she saying? Who is she communicating with? Me. And if you look down at yourself, what do you look like? I can't see myself. It's dark. Do you feel like you're under the ocean? Where are you? I'm not sure. Is the prawn fish lady swimming? No, she's laid on a rock. She's just there. What's she doing on those rocks? She's giving me a message. What's this message that she's giving you? I need to go home. Why does she want you to go home? They need me there. What is it that's happening there? Why do they need you? I need to show them how to do something. What do you think it is that they want to know? What do you need to show them? How to evolve, how to grow. Yes. And then she says, they need the light, the balls of light, those drops of light. So this prawn fish lady, is she from your home planet? Where's this lady from? And this lady says, she's on her own on this rocky landscape and it's dark. It's dark, you can't see any colour. Maybe dark green and blue. Can you see the ocean? No, it's rocky and it's dark. That's all I can see. But she has the tail of a fish. Yes. How big does she seem? Is she big or small? Smallish. The size of a toddler. So then I'm trying to imagine this prawn fish lady that's got a prawn top, whiskers for hair, a fish tail that's blue, and she's the size of a toddler. My job, honestly, it's amazing. It's not for the faint-hearted. And I say, are there any others that look like her? No. She's telling me I'm needed back home because of the light. It's because of the drops. What will they do with the drops of light? They need to grow and evolve as a species. Why is it that they haven't evolved so far? They haven't had the light, the beads. This place that you're in, that's very dark, where is this? No, this dark place, that's not my home. I need to go home. How is it that they know you? How is it that this prawn fish lady knows you to ask you for those drops? I've been called there because she knows I can help. I could just hear her. So I travelled to her to communicate. And as you speak to her, do you feel like you have a body? No. Do you feel like your energy? Yes. Do you feel like you have a particular colour or frequency? Like a mauve colour. And now you're there with this lady. Will you share your light to help them? Yes, that's why I'm here. And I felt like we'd got to the end of where we were going to get with that, because she couldn't give me any more information about who the prawn fish lady was. She couldn't really see herself. She thought she was in an energy ball. But she knew that this prawn fish lady needed the balls of light to help them evolve. So I move her. Let's close that scene and we'll drift and float back to where home is. To this place where you need to go, where you've been called back to. Be there now. And then she says, there's lots of drawers with things in them. It's very bright. And I say, yes, it's very bright. Describe what you see. Tall, really tall drawers, narrow drawers, boxes. What do you feel is in those boxes? Consciousness. They need them. They need the beads. They need the beads so they can grow. What do you do next? I have to open a drawer. Go ahead and open that drawer and tell me what happens. I want to put my beads in, and then it comes out and I have to mix it. I have to mix my beads with the beads in the drawer. What does mixing those beads do? Makes it grow. Then it can do its job. Then it can help them grow. So I'm thinking, who's this them that she keeps referring to? So I say, is them the fish prawn lady, the lady who called you? No, she was just a messenger. Who was she a messenger for? The people on earth. So I was like, oh my God, okay, this is getting really good. So I say, the people on earth, I see. They will need the consciousness, the ones on the mission. Tell me about the ones on the mission, the leaders. Who are the leaders? The leaders of the new world. Who are they? They know who they are. They feel that they have work to do for the greater good. That things that they are doing are for the greater good. Yes, bringing people's awareness to the higher vibrations. People that need help and need to grow, but they have got blocks. The light will help them see the path. These beads of consciousness that you're mixing together, that need to be given to the leaders of the new earth, what will you do with them when they are ready? They get sent. They come down like a beam down, and fill them with the light, and they can disperse it like energy coming out of them just into the atmosphere. So the energy goes into the atmosphere after it comes out of the leaders. Yes, and then the beads are released. Pew. That's the sound she made, like the sound of a rocket. And these beads come into these leaders as a beam of light. Where does this come from? How does that work? It comes from the drawers. Where are these drawers? It's where it transforms. It transforms the energy. But where does it come from initially before it transforms? It's just in the drawers, growing small. Then I put mine in and mix it up. What happens when you do that mixing? What does it do? Whoosh, like a cloud, it expands. Why is it you that needs to mix these consciousness beads? Why is that your role? I know how to do it. I have the necessary frequency. I am different to them. I have the knowledge how to do it. Not many people know. It's not about knowing, really. That's the wrong way of putting it. It's not a special thing that I have to do. It's an intuitive vibration that I have, that I can connect with these beads in the drawer and mix them with my vibration, and then it grows. And these beads are consciousness. Yes. And it is a higher level of consciousness than what we currently have on Earth. Yes. And what is it that you are mixing with those beads that are in the drawer? I just wanted us to give us more information on that. It's allowing it. It's like when you water a seed and it awakens the life inside. It starts to grow. It's like my vibration plus the bead, when the two meet and mix, it begins to grow and expand. And when it's grown, what happens next? How does it get to Earth? Then it's compressed. Then what happens? Then it goes down to the leaders. Why does it just go to the leaders? Why doesn't it go to everybody who is ready for this consciousness upgrade? The leaders will be able to receive it, and then they will disperse it. And then others can collect it and know what it is for. And the leaders, how do they collect it? It just comes down as a light beam and they absorb it. And will they see it as a physical light? Will they be aware of that happening? Yes. And then they disperse it out, and that gives everybody else a higher level of consciousness. Yes. Why was it that that prawn lady contacted you and not somebody else? The others from Earth could not communicate it to me. She was the messenger. she needed to say that they are now ready for the higher consciousness on earth. So she delivered that message for the people on earth, and now that message has been delivered, and you are aware now that the people of earth are ready for the consciousness. Yes. So does that mean that this consciousness will now come down to the leaders? Yes. And they will disperse it to those who are ready? Yes. And what will happen then? The ones who are ready, it will be like a light bulb. They will be a huge awakening on the planet. It is happening now. Not everybody will awaken at once. And does it feel like lots of lights switching on? Yes, it's gradual at first, but then it just goes whoosh. People will be the upgraded people and the people that get left behind. The ones that get left behind will be happy together, and the upgraded ones will be happy, but there will be tension between the two. The people that are upgraded and the ones that are left behind. Tension. The upgraded people will want to elevate to a higher realm, and the people who are left behind will not understand that, and they will feel threatened. There will be trouble from the fear. They will not understand. What will happen when you've got the upgraded people who are ready for a higher realm and the people who don't want change? There is a divide. Two different races on the planet. This causes a lot of tension. There could be a war, but the higher upgraded people will not want a war or participate, as they have grown. So there will be no war from them. So because the higher graded ones will not fight, the ones who stay behind in consciousness will end up fighting amongst themselves. And what will happen to these upgraded ones? Will they go to another dimension? Yes. And it will be like a split? Yes. There will be two races, two different groups. How quickly do you see all this happening with the leaders being upgraded, with these consciousness beads, and then that spreading out to everybody else and coming down? It's happening now with some of the smaller beads, and then the beams that contain the beads just get bigger and bigger, wider beams and more intense. What will happen when these bigger beams come in? Bigger upgrades. More people will become upgraded and higher frequencies. And these leaders that get this upgrade, how will they pass that out to everyone else? How will that be passed on? Through their vibration. It releases through their vibrations because it's a different frequency. It's channeled through. It's just like the energy comes out of them. And that affects everyone around them and raises the people around them. And the people will become attracted to their frequency, the ones who are ready for the upgrade. Yes, that's right. When will this all happen? The ones who are left behind on the old earth, either the war will destroy them or they will just die. And the higher upgraded ones will pass to the new dimension. A different dimension completely. A different realm completely. I don't know when this process will finish, but it has started. So that was the session that I wanted to share with you this week because I thought that was very interesting. And like I say, there is an amazing lady called Blossom Goodchild who actually does a channeling on that exact same topic, where the Galactic Federation of Light talk about these pillars of light that are coming down to the planet, big beams of light, pillars of consciousness, and consciousness bubbles being released into the planet, and the people that are ready for them can accept them. So it's not the first time that I've heard that, and I thought that was really interesting. That's why I wanted to share it. I will be doing the meditation again this week, 10 p.m. Wednesday, 10 p.m. UK time. I'll be using the same meditation that I posted last week, just because I do not have time to record another one this week. I've got a lot of filming at night time with other QHHT practitioners, which I'm very excited about. So I'll see you at 10 p.m. UK time on Wednesday for the meditation for planetary ascension. And if you would like to book a QHHT session with me, my name is Laura Whitworth. You can either find me on the official QHHT site at www.qhhtofficial.com, or you can go to my website, which is www.laurawhitworthqhht.com. There's a book now button at the top. If you click that, it'll take you right the way down to the bottom of my website. Carry on scrolling and you'll start to see my appointments that I have come up. If you don't want to use the book now button, because sometimes it doesn't work on an Android phone, then just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the website, and towards the bottom of the website is when you'll see book an appointment, and all of my appointments are on there. I don't do anything outside of my website, just because my website sorts everything out for me, because I don't have time to do it. Okay, thanks for joining me once again, you beautiful, beautiful beacons of light across the entire planet. And what's my little parting message today? If you get another 3D situation like I did, where you've got a really angry guy shouting at you, literally wanting blood, just remember, you are light, you are love, you are a higher frequency. Don't get triggered. And until the next time I see you guys, keep vibrating high. Much love. See you next week. Bye.